We're going back to March 2006, bruh. T.I. dropped King. And just like that, Atlanta isn't part of the rap conversation. It becomes the center of it. And honestly, there may not be a better time to revisit it. King, perfect moment. Because in 2026, T.I. is having a real comeback. He announced his final album, King, Killed the King, around the Grammys, a full closing of the King of the South era. He cuts his dreads, brings back the low fade, links with Pharrell for Let Him Know. Check out that video on YouTube there. And suddenly he's charting higher than he's has in years. He's doing comedy, acting, podcasting, Expeditious, I think is the name of the show. Great stuff, great production on there. The camera work is phenomenal. All that. But all roads lead back to King. That's the album where he stopped being another hot Atlanta rapper and became a full blown star. That same week, he dropped that the movie ATL. Y'all remember that? Shout out to damn, what was the what was the skating rink? Was it Cascades? I think Cascades. The skating rink that was on that featured on there. Shout out to JID. Talk when they talk about Cascade and that skate track with on JID's latest project. Uh, but man, that same week he dropped the what 500,000 copies of King that first week, and we're talking big numbers, man, behind it. Like revisiting this project right now isn't just nostalgia. It's going back to examine the blueprint of what became this legacy act that we have now. Uh, and Ti is still probably on what we call a victory lap even right now. And it all started in 2006. You know, and the first track on that thing is King Back. First, the King Back. It did. Then it was his rival, but King Back, right? It's the first track on it. The audacity. It's like he knew something that was about to, before the rest of us even knew. But we listened to it, and when we listened to this is one of these projects you heard it the first time, and you're like, yes, it's an instant classic. There is such a thing as figuring out if an album is an instant classic. Now, mind you, some albums it takes a bunch of listens. It takes some years to be like, oh, is this a classic or not? But there are some that we gotta say, if we're being honest, that we heard it the first time. We're like, yo, this is a classic. It's gonna be a classic. We're gonna revisit it 30 years from now. And this is one of these barometers, and that's why I'm reviewing it, right? It was that dope. King is one of those projects that where you hear somebody becoming themselves in real time. The production is huge, big trap drums, strings, horns, dramatic intros. It feels expensive, and so this is somebody who is betting on themselves at this point. It feels expensive without being overproduced. Southern rap built for the biggest stages possible. Ti sounds completely sure of himself, no hesitation, no overthinking. If you call yourself the king, you better act like one. And that's what he's doing on this project. Every verse feels like someone who already knows he's the next up. He's the next coming, right? The next phase of where hip hop is gonna go. And then actually ATL ended up becoming the mecca of hip hop for a good chunk of time there, right? The sequencing of the tracks matter. Of course, that's the beauty of listening to a full project. I want y'all to listen to the whole album, top to bottom. And it matters. It matters on this one because this isn't one of the ones that you can shuffle because it plays like a movie. It feels like there's an opening scene. There's pressure, setbacks, celebration, reflection, and it all flows right. Four tracks to definitely tap into if you haven't listened to it a while. Make sure you lock in when you get to what you know about that. What you know about that. This is the centerpiece. Massive synth lines. Of course, King is back is a great opener. Check let that one play. That all these years at least on this app here is 3.5 million plays on there. But definitely, what you know about that is dope. Ti is absolute peak on that track there. Front back, UGK is on this joint. Um, Pure Southern Pride on this one. The beat knocks. You know what I mean? Front back. side to side. Never let the rest, right? The history behind it makes it hit that much harder. Live in the Sky had Jamie Foxx is on this one. This one is the this one is a pretty well worn track, but it's a more emotional center, more emotional core. It takes a break here a little bit, less flexing, more reflective. This shows a little bit different side of himself, but we learned that he is a reflective person. And you listen to his interviews, you watch his show, and he's a person that he's a thinker. What I mean, he's not. Uh, he makes mistakes. He's human for sure, but he's not just like a shut up and dribble type of character. No, this is somebody who's got something to say, and he doesn't just do it through his rap. He does it through his philanthropy. He does it through his show. You can see it in the way he puts up for Atlanta. There's a dope interview where he's in it's the one with I gotta look. I'll put it in the video here, but he's in the car. The one dude that does a podcast. I guess you could podcast. It's a ride along cast where he's like, the he has the artists and they sit and they do their tracks and he's like drives them around in the city and the camera is like facing. It's a dope concept. It looks fun as hell to produce. It looks fun as hell to be a part of. So shout out to them on that joint. Top back, top back. You know what I mean? Uh, Eternal Victory Lap energy. This is like quintessential mid 2000s Atlanta snap drums. Tip talking slick. I like my hit there. Look, top, you know what I mean? It was my top laid back. See me riding 24. So this is like, the sunshine is just bouncing off the chrome. You can just feel it, just like this is that joint. Full of energy, and it still slaps as if it came out yesterday. Top back. Matter of fact, do what I did. Play that track first, and then play the album after that, just to get you ready to go. You know what I mean? So revisiting these tracks feels like it feels like opening up a time capsule into the beginning of the golden run that Atlanta went on. The vibe of King is Southern ambition at full volume. Somebody stepping into the biggest version of themselves and not apologizing for it. What's wild is how grounded it still feels, polished, but never losing that Atlanta edge. You can hear the hunger. This is the album you play when you need a reminder about who you are, who you really are, stepping into your true self, right? Fuck the different masks that we wear. Fuck the code switching. This is one of the ones that like maybe you're stepping into a new job, or maybe you got a big presentation on Monday or something like that. And you put this on and you feel like you walk in the room freaking 6 feet tall, and Tip is only 5'8". You know what I mean? So, but he's a giant, but the man is a freaking giant. There's a lot of people standing on the shoulder of this giant now. Coming into the music game. Revisiting this thing is it's more than just looking back. This thing is commemorating like almost an academic point in history. Like like there's history that could be written about when Atlanta took over hip hop, and when if you study music and music theory, and what I mean, and hip hop, you get to the chapter about hip hop. Um, this is very important to commemorate that he is still relevant, he is still grounded, this is a classic album. We knew it at the time, and currently you gotta at least look back now and be like, yeah, that was a classic album. When you list the classic albums that he's put out, it's about seeing where the whole Ti story took off. Kill the King might come around and be the, hopefully it doesn't take forever to come out, hopefully we get it in this year, but it'll be perfect round number to end in 30 years. But Kill the King might be the ending, but King was when we first saw him snatch the crown, and try it on for size.